Hello. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Elevate Your Confidence and Style to claim the success that you deserve. Thanks so much for being on. Let me know who's here and where you are from. And we have some housekeeping to go through in the beginning, and that will allow people to continue to join us as well. So when you come into the StreamYard, if you're not familiar with it, you can go to where this recording is. There's a button that says something about StreamYard. Click that and accept that I can see your picture and your name. So it helps us to interact better, and I can know who's here and I can interact with you personally. So make sure you do that when you come in every single day for the week. But this is our week together, 5 days of elevating your confidence and style. And that is the title of today. If you're not familiar with myself, I'm Dr. Shelley Nash. I'm hosting this 5-day workshop this week. It is taking place in Living Powerfully Community, a Facebook group for women. I'm hoping that our internet is going to be strong. I see it's a little weak at the moment, but I think we're still going. So that's always the challenge with doing these lives. So make sure that in case we have a problem, I'll always redo the live and I'll post it for you in the replays. But let's hope that we have a strong connection, at least for the next hour. So I am an elite level mindset coach, and I help women to do exactly this: elevate your confidence and style so that you can claim the success that you deserve. And as I just said, there's a little housekeeping. So thank you guys so much for being here. Let me know who's here. Say your name in the chat and where you are from. I'd love to know where you're coming in from. So just a few things to go over first off, and then we'll get into content. I promise. There's a lot of content. So, as you know, it takes place in the Living Powerfully Facebook group. So you want to turn on your notifications for this group so you know when we're going live. And put the dates every day this week in your calendar at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And also, I have a bonus for you on Saturday at the same time, 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. That's very exciting. So clear your calendar for those times. If you absolutely cannot be on with us live, then make sure you set a time in your calendar to watch the replay so that you can keep up with the class as it's going along. This is a really special time for you. You should really take advantage of this. All the information that you're going to learn, if you hang in there with me, if you go through all the homework, if you really are involved this week, you're going to have transformation just from this week with me. So take advantage of it. It's free, guys, and you can learn so much. So as I said before, the replays will be in the guides. They'll be there until next Tuesday, the 14th, through that day. Participate fully, really get involved. You know, when I say post in the group or want your opinion, definitely let me know so that I know you're hearing me, that I know we're getting to you to understand what's going on. Okay, so every day we're going to be about 60 minutes, maybe less, maybe a little bit more, just so that you know. If you need support, if you have any questions, send me a DM. And I have some support too, so you might get a message from them just about any questions that you might have. It's pretty self-explanatory. You might find messages from me in your hidden messages, if you know where those are in Messenger, Facebook Messenger. So check your hidden messages box. There might be a message from me there. Anyone that's on the workshop or signed up for the workshop is qualified to have a short consultation with me just to talk about where you're at, where you want to go in your life. So make sure you sign up for that, and I'll put a link for that in somewhere so that you can do that, or send me a message. Hello, Karen. It's good to see you. I know you're from the East Coast, New York State area. Good to see you here. So do you have your workbook? this is essential to have your workbook. Either print it out yourself or have it printed. If you haven't been getting the emails come from Dr. Shelley Nash Coaching, and there's many links in there for the workbook. If you're still not getting it, send me a message and we'll get you the link to the workbook. Let's see, the schedule for the week is in the workbook. It's on the top of the Facebook page and the banner. You will get every single day after we talk in the mid-afternoon, I'm gonna send out a daily recap for you. So just like pictures with what we talked about, just to remind you. And you have in your workbook, if you've probably looked through it already, action challenges for each day. And so I have incentive for you to do your action challenges. There will be a show up drawing. So everyone that shows up Monday, either in the live or in the replay of Monday, you can put hashtag replay if you're watching the replay on Monday, and then I'll do a drawing of those people. And if you're in the US, I will send you, I forgot to bring it close to me, but I will have it tomorrow, that my I Am Woman inspirational card set. 22 images and quotes. And if you're not in the US, I actually have a virtual copy that I can send you. So that's the giveaway for daily. And then the incentive to be here every single day or on the replays, doing your homework, posting it in the chat. Then everyone that is active every single day and doing the homework will be put in a drawing for a $50 Amazon gift card. So I know I call it homework, but it's really important that you actually kind of digest what you're learning. And it's not that hard a homework. Mostly I just want to make sure you're keeping track and you're keeping going along. So does that make sense? We'll post a link for you to have a connection call with me, just to connect, talk and see how you're doing in the workshop, and see if there's any specific things you want me to cover in the workshop as well, because it's planned, but it's flexible. So with that, let's dive into this first day here. So in your workbook, you've probably looked at it. There's a welcome page. There's a little bit of information about me, which I'd recommend you read. I'm going to tell you a little bit about me right now, but I have quite an eclectic background. And then your schedule is on the next day. So every day, what's going to be happening, what we're going to be talking about. So turn to the page on Elevate Your Confidence and Style. So we'll be working through those pages as we go through today and every single day. And this notebook is really for you. It's for you to keep for a long time, as you go through your journey of transformation and growth, because the information you write down will be information you'll probably want to look back on over the time. So, and when you write, it causes you to think. And so if you're just listening to this, you're not going to get as much out of it as you actually get your pen out and write something down. And then if you actually think about your life and what I'm asking you to think about, you're going to get it at another level. So over the last year, I've been basically doing a beta test about confidence and style with my current clients, and on the topic of personal style. And during that time that we've gone through kind of a 8-week boot camp on that, which ended up being longer because it was just so important for them to understand it. I realized how important our style is, our confidence is, as a tool for achieving and maintaining the success levels that we desire. And even if you're not going for anything, having your personal style being congruent with the truth of who you are deep down inside is so important, because, well, we'll talk more about it, because you want to be congruent from the inside out. Thank you. Thank you. So good to see you, Jackie, as well. I'm just looking at the chat as well. So we can get you the workbook, and we want you to sign up to get the reminders as well if you're not already signed up for the workshop, because that's how you get the workbook. All right. So style comes from the core of your being. It's who you are. It's like an energy or a vibration that you give off. And I know we have style connected in with fashion, but it has to do with fashion, but it really can have nothing to do with fashion or current fashion or trends, things like that. Style is an integral piece of you. So it must be a necessary part of you getting what you want in your life. So this is some of the things that I've discovered over the last 6 months of working with my clients on this. And here's a little bit about my background and what makes me qualified to talk about style. So as I said, I have a very eclectic background. And I don't know if you listen to the podcast. Oh, thanks for putting the link in for me. That is my assistant. And I appreciate that. So I have a very eclectic background, but I was on a podcast this week and I did post that in the Facebook group. And during that, I actually realized this goes back way farther than I even had remembered, because when I was about 5 years old, I was playing, and my mom and her twin sister were downstairs having coffee or whatever they were doing. And it got really, really quiet. So the story goes is that they came out to find out what I was doing. And it turns out that I had all the clothes in my closet down and I was trying on all the clothes. And at that time, my mom pretty much dressed me in dresses all the time. It was more popular, I think, to dress little girls in dresses. So I was trying on my clothes, trying on my dresses. And I think that there was just something innate in me as a 5-year-old. I believe that your 5-year-old self is kind of your authentic self. Hasn't been tainted, very much. And I mean, it has been, but you still have that energy and that essence of who you are and what you're here for. And so I think that the textiles, the textures, the chiffons, the bows, the glitter, all of that stuff fascinated me as a child. And then when it came time to deciding what to do, when I left high school, what to study in college, I thought that was the hardest decision of my life. Was that I just thought, well, I like clothes and I know how to sew, and I'll just do that. I'll just go to college for textiles and clothing. And I wasn't so much into fashion, which was interesting at that time. I really just liked fabrics and textiles. So that's what I did. I went to college and that was my major. And the last year of college, I went on this trip with the senior women students at that time to Europe for 2 months. And we toured Ireland and Scotland and London, Paris, Italy, all the different fashion houses. They got us into like Gucci, and we saw the Pucci factory. We went to all kinds of factories in Scotland and Ireland where they make the woolens and all of that. And then in Paris, we went to Yves Saint Laurent. So we went to so many places, and it was, it was so instrumental for me that I didn't even know it really that much at the time, but it kind of set the stage. So then I ended up working in a retail environment that really didn't have anything to do with style and fashion. It was for outdoor clothing and equipment. As their sew it yourself kit expert. If you remember way back then when we were making down vests and tents and things like that. So I was their expert. I would go to high schools and junior high schools and teach them how to sew these things. So it kind of, was a little different. But then I say I went on a detour, but it wasn't really a detour. I think all of our life is on purpose. So when I got into massage and I got into health and wellness and, surrounding myself with people like that, and kind of lost my interest in what I was doing in my career at that time, and started taking massage classes, doing massage, went on a spiritual expedition. That's a whole nother story. But when I came back from that, I started doing massage. Then I did massage for almost 13 years. And during that time, I decided I wanted to be a chiropractor. But I was always trying to figure out, how can I help people more? How can I help people to help themselves more? And so as I was a chiropractor for many, many years, almost 25 years now, I realized about 6 years ago that I just wanted to empower people to help themselves and to really understand their mind, and that their mind is really the source of all their results. And I didn't know that in the beginning. I was very fascinated with studying body, mind, and emotions because I was a very emotional person and I kept trying to figure myself out. So all the techniques I learned in massage and chiropractic had to do with clearing emotions or getting balanced in emotional health. I got into essential oils, which had to do with emotional health. So of kind of a full circle life. But like I said, when I started coaching, I had this light bulb moment. One of my coaches is Bob Proctor, who is one of the leading personal development coaches worldwide and has been a mentor of mine for 4 years. And through his teaching and what I learned from him and several books that I read, I learned about self-image, and that we basically have two images of ourselves. We have the image of ourselves, of how we see ourselves on the inside. If you close your eyes and you thought about yourself and what you would see yourself as. And then we have the image of ourselves that we project to the world, that we want other people to see. And that comes from a book that was actually written by a doctor, Maxwell Maltz, back in the 1960s, called Psycho-Cybernetics, in case you're interested. Amazing book. But both of those images are somewhat, if not all controlled by our bringing up, by our environment and our genetics and our early life. And so much of the image that we have of ourselves isn't even true. It's what other people told us we should be, or how we should be. And it's what we picked up from our mom or our dad, how we should act, how we should be, how we should think, what we should believe. All these habits that we have, we picked up in an early life that aren't even true. We don't even really believe it, but we just act out of that because it's habit, and it's neurologically wired in us to keep doing the same thing over and over again, getting the same results. We've heard that before, the definition of insanity. So this week, we're going to really dive deep into all of this. So you should completely understand what's going on and know what you need to do to take control of your life. Now, will you be able to take control of your life after this week? Probably not, because we need to build that repetition in you. We need to get you in the habit of doing a new thing. But you'll understand what's going on and what's holding you back. But when I started looking at style, and we're going to talk about that in this lesson, get your workbook out, and I want you to take lots of notes, and you might even need an extra journal for that, and you're going to keep that as your journey unfolds here. So let's go to the notebook a little bit, or the workbook, the notebook. And you've probably read through this already, but if you don't know this already, repetition is the key to learning. So you can never hear something too many times. So at the top, I said, are your subconscious beliefs showing up in your closet? And what do I mean by that? Are your subconscious beliefs showing up in your closet? If you haven't studied the conscious and subconscious mind very much, you might not know what I'm saying there, but it's really your unconscious beliefs, and what I was just talking about, what you learned in childhood. Maybe unconsciously you're dressing like your mom dressed. Maybe unconsciously you're dressing like your sister dressed. Maybe you have some, and we're going to unpack that here in a second. So, or are you just dressing out of habit? Habit lives in the subconscious. Habits, beliefs, and your self-image live in your subconscious mind. And most of those habits, beliefs, and self-image are probably not really working for you in the way that you want your life to go. So are your subconscious beliefs showing up in your closet? Perhaps you have some limiting beliefs about your body or your style that are holding you back, not only in that area, but in all areas of your life. And that it's possible to create a personal style that is authentic, that is comfortable and stylish. So I love this quote. She realized she was missing a great deal by being sensible. All right. Say me in the chat if that's you. Have you been too sensible in your life? Have you lacked the ability to take risks or to go out on the edge? Have you just kept safe throughout your life? She realized she was missing a great deal by being sensible. And what this reminds me of too is that as I looked back at my life, I realized that the times that I was most scared, that I did things that were the most uncomfortable, are the highlights of my life right now. And that always helps me when I'm going to go after something that's scary again. When I'm going to do something uncomfortable, like again, I'm like, it's going to end up being the highlight of my life. So that makes it worth me doing it. All right. So Karen has it. She just goes for things. She's not sensible at all. So that's awesome. How many of you feel like you're too sensible? So we've got to go out of our comfort zone in order to grow at all in life. So the first question here is, what are your limiting beliefs about your body? And maybe you've already filled some of this in, which yay for you if you have. But first, we must become aware of where you are right now. And that's true in anything. You have to be like, for example, if you're going to take a trip, you have to know where you're starting the trip. And then you have to know where you're going on the trip. And then you're going to make your path along the way. You're going to have a map. You're going to build a strategy. So with style and our body, first we have to know where we are at right now. So that's why these questions are here. What are your limiting beliefs about your body? Now, I've been studying personal development for almost 40 years. I've been doing the kind of work that I do now for about 4 to 5 years. And as I did this for myself over this last year with my clients about style, I realized there was things I hadn't thought of about my body that were holding me back, or, my limiting beliefs around my body and my style that I hadn't thought of before in just personal development and mindset work. So this is a different level. So if you have a limiting belief about your body and you know it, let us know in the chat if you're comfortable with that. What are some of the limiting beliefs you have about your body? One that I've had consistently is that I can only be successful if I'm thin. And that got set up in me way back, in childhood. And then you look at these limiting beliefs and you go, well, when was the first time? When was the original event when I had that limiting belief? This is some of the work I did in chiropractic, was getting to the core issue and kind of wiping the neurological system clear of that core issue. But you can do that on your own. So I can only be successful when I'm thin. So when I was in high school, I was a majorette, and growing up, I was, quote, chubby. They had chubby size clothing back then. I was really tall and I was bigger, and they called it chubby clothing. So when I was in junior high, the band director said to me, you're going to need to lose weight or go on a diet in order to be a senior high majorette. And that set me up probably for a lifetime of food and body issues. Not that I didn't have them before, I'm not sure, but I definitely had them after that, because then I decided that I was going to be thin no matter what, to be a high school majorette. I mean, that was my goal. I wanted to be the drum major, to fit into the costume. So I became anorexic. I just didn't eat in order for me to have that success, to be the successful majorette, have that success in life. And that became then that I need to be thin to be successful. And it just has run in underlying everything in my life. And I know that it's not true. And that's the thing you ask yourself. Is it true? Is this limiting belief you have really true? Is it true? Is it the truth? We know millions of women that are not thin and that are highly successful. Oprah being one of them. Let me read some of the chat. Never connected to, might be something there. Mine is that I think that I should dress a certain way. I'm going to put this on the thing. Mine is that I think that I should dress a certain way age now that I'm 65. Yeah. Or I'm too old to be stylish. Stylish is for younger girls. Um, too old to be successful, too old to have another career. Bob Proctor has wiped that clean in my mind. At least has set the example that at 87 he's still going strong in his career and in his life. So I can't have that excuse anymore for there. But a lot of women get to a certain age and then they drop, they quit being as being as creative with their style, I guess you could say. So what other limiting beliefs do you have about your body? So I'll just give you some more examples from me because it might spur something in you. We have these, and then think about when was that original belief formed in you. So I had a little traumatic experience around short hair. Now it's interesting, I have short hair again, but I find short hair very easy and powerful and I feel strong with short hair. But as a child, my mom's twin sister was a hairdresser and every summer she would cut my hair. And one summer she cut my hair at the lake and I cried and cried and cried because the bangs were like way up here, and I felt like a boy and I just didn't feel feminine. And so I have had in the past that short hair was masculine or tomboy or, so that's a impression that I got early that continued on. And then I also had one that I wasn't as pretty as my mom. My mom was beautiful, completely different look than me. She had dark hair. My dad used to always say how pretty she was. And in fact, my dad told me a couple of years before he passed away and reinforced the fact that he always thought I wasn't as pretty as my mom. So my impression, my limiting belief was based in, probably my dad saying, oh, you're pretty, but you'll never be as pretty as your mom or something like that, so where do these things come from? Just start to think for yourself and write them down in the blanks. Okay, so another one that I had around body and still it's a caution, I guess, of mine is that I shouldn't show my cleavage. Now, so in the last photo shoot I had done, which is on the picture on our Facebook group, like I'm leaning forward and I looked at it and I was like, oh, there's cleavage, and I was like, it's okay, it's feminine, it's okay. But where that comes from is my father was very strict with allowing my mom to show cleavage. She would even he'd have her put on a new swimming suit and bend over and make sure that there wasn't, her breasts weren't hanging out. He was very strict with her, not so much with me, but I picked up on that, that strictness or that kind of rule that he had. And it's still like, I don't mind showing cleavage, but I don't overly show cleavage still. Unless it's in a swimming suit. So, and it's interesting today, I have completely boat neck on, but that's more because of how StreamYard is and it only shows from there up and it's not really with my uncomfortableness. So I hope that by me sharing my stories about this, it helps you think about your own life. And I'd love to hear more of what your limiting beliefs about your body are. So what about the next question? What beliefs do you have about style? And then feel free to put those in the chat. What are your style beliefs? Do you consider yourself stylish? Are you too big to be stylish? I mean, I was like too tall. I'm too big to be stylish. And then one that I have is that it's very uncomfortable for me to wear high heels. So I see that heels look so good with certain outfits, but I can only wear them for a short period of time. It has to be a certain kind of heel with a wedge, and so in order to be, I have to develop my own style that that it's okay, to wear flats. And it's much more okay nowadays to wear tennis shoes with a dress. And I wonder if, when all those women back in the 80s were when they had to walk to work, in New York City, they would wear tennis shoes to walk to work, and then they put their high heels on when they got to work. I wonder if that kind of started a fashion trend around wearing tennis shoes with dresses, or even the younger girls now will wear clunky boots with skirts and dresses. Just shows you that anything is stylish, and it's about your confidence and how you wear it and how you accept it, and your confidence in who you are, really, that causes it to be stylish for you. So what are your other limiting beliefs about your style, or about clothing? One that I've had is that if I spend a lot of money on an outfit, that I have to keep it, even if it doesn't even fit anymore, I'll keep it because it might fit later and I'll want to wear it. Or this is a pretty typical one, I think, of a lot of people, is that you save your good clothes for church or for going out, and then not wear your good clothes at home because you might ruin them or get them dirty. And I still have that a bit about certain clothes, especially if they're silk, because I know silk, once it gets oil on it, it's to the dry cleaner. It may come out and it may not. So if it's silk, I probably won't wear it around the house. But I've started wearing more of my good clothes around the house because, like, they're there for us to wear, And another one is, like, if you gain weight, then you want to save the clothes, until you get back to them again. And the thing is with that is, I've done this so many times, is ask yourself, when you lose weight, are you really going to want to wear that? Is it really going to be your style again? And so it's possible that it will. And if it's really, really nice, you can't really let go of it right now, that's okay. But most of the time, it's just better to get rid of anything that doesn't fit you right now, because it just causes confusion, and it might cause some self-criticism around not being at the weight you desire right now. So you want to be able to go in your closet and really just, everything in there fits you, everything coordinates, it goes, it's brings out your authentic self, and it's easy to pick outfits. So that's some of the things we teach you how to do in the style class when you get into the coaching. So what's the next question here? I think it's kind of similar. Oh, so how would you like to be perceived by others? Oh, someone in the Facebook says they don't want to get rid of anything, even if it wasn't expensive. Yes, it can be hard to get rid of clothes. It can be hard to let go of things, that cleaning out process. We can have emotional attachments to clothes that are for the good or for the not good. I still have a shirt of my dad's in a box. That was one of the last shirts. I had a picture taken with him, and it's like in a box in a closet. There's an emotional attachment there, and it's not even my clothes. So let's see. This last one. Sometimes I struggle with being nostalgic about a particular piece of clothing. Yeah. And I think it's okay to have those nostalgic items. But ask yourself, is that nostalgia building you up, or is it keeping you in a negative vibration, or is it keeping you sad, or something like that? So the next question is, how would you like to be perceived by others? Now, this is a truth that we don't really like to accept, is that people judge people. People have that first impression, and they have a judgment, You do it too. I do it too. As soon as you walk down the street, anyone that's walking by you, you instantly make judgments about people. So think about how you want people to perceive you when you're walking down the street, when you're shopping in the grocery store. How do you want people to perceive you rather than let them, create the perception that they want? You can kind of have control of what they perceive in you by how you create a personal style that is connected with your truest self, your authentic self, that's connected with the goal you're going for or where you want to be at in your life. And that connection or that congruency brings an alignment within you, so that that's how you project your energy into the world. And then that's what people perceive. So if you don't know who you are and your purpose and where you're going, that's the first point to get clear on, because that's going to cause confusion and chaos in your own vibration. And so that vibration is going to be confusing to others when they perceive it. So think about how you want to be perceived by others, and you can pick out some words that you might like, which might be confident, sexy, elegant, stylish, fun, comfortable, intelligent. You can create this image within yourself the more and more you focus on how it is you want to be perceived by others. And you can really control the results that you get with others. We did an exercise which was very, very difficult. You can try this if you want. Was to ask 3 people how they perceive you. So ask a really good friend. Just say, I'm doing this exercise for this class I'm in this week, and she wanted us to ask you how you perceive me in 3 words. And that's all you need to say. Is the hardest thing is to get it out and ask them. But what I did is just texted my 3 of my best friends, and it was still very uncomfortable. And I said, I'm doing this thing. How do you perceive me in 3 words? And they all just wrote back. It was quite amazing. But what was even more amazing was how they perceived me, because some of them were things I didn't like. Some of them were things that I didn't think about. And some of them made sense and were how I wanted them to perceive me. So it was really good feedback. And like I said, what we're doing right now is we're building an awareness of where we're at right now so that we can go where we want to go. And this is all part of that process. So any words that you come up with about how you want to be perceived by others, write your 3 words, how you want to be perceived by others. I think mine is sassy, elegant, sophisticated, and sassy, I think, as my 3 words. And those 3 words kind of help me get dressed in the morning, because I have kind of an elegant, sophisticated style. Like comfortable is another word of mine. Comfortable, sophisticated, really nice fabrics. They feel good on my body. I would not have guessed sassy for you. Yeah, I mean, it's something that I keep a little bit hidden, that I'm fun, I'm witty, I'm sassy. I like to be sassy. And so usually it shows up in my earrings. These earrings have like sparkle in them. Remember when I talked about my 5-year-old self that likes the sparkles and getting dressed and having fun? So that's sassy or fun. Some people would just refer to me as fun if you really know me. But it doesn't come off usually in my professional self. I'm trying to allow it to come out, because I feel like that as we talk about authenticity, I'm getting off track a bit, but as we talk about authenticity, if you listen to my podcast, I did talk about this, that I used to think I was really authentic because I would always tell the truth. I was really honest, and I would cry in front of people if I was sad. And I thought that was being authentic. But once I became a chiropractor in my life, I never talked about that textiles and clothing part of my life. I just hid it. It was under the rug. I wasn't that anymore. I was the doctor, I wanted to be the important doctor. And so I didn't talk about my other part of my life. And so when I started coaching and talking about style and the image, self-image, and that kind of thing, I started bringing that part of myself out again. And what I realized is that I was happy. I was happier because I was allowing this part of myself out of the box again that I'd hidden for so long. So many people didn't know that I had that background. And so then I realized that authenticity is telling the truth about yourself to yourself, and revealing all those parts of yourself to the world, that trueness of yourself. So somebody says, I would like people to think I am approachable. Yeah. So you can affirm that to yourself. I'm approachable. I am open. People love to love me. People love to talk to me. I'm always getting in conversations with strangers, and I love it. So some of the affirmations that you can use to help yourself be more approachable. Okay, so we got off on a little important sidetrack, though, I think. So then thinking about your comfort zone around style that you might be in right now, what would be 3 ways that you could step out of your comfort zone right now, right this week? You might want to post about them if you do them in the Facebook group, in the Facebook chat. What would be 3 ways that you could get yourself to pop out of your comfort zone? And remember, we talked about comfort zone and the need to be comfortable being uncomfortable, and that a lot of times when you do pop out of your comfort zone, it becomes a highlight of your life. So what could you do style-wise to push the edge for yourself this week? Write in the chat something that you think of, and I'll give you a couple examples here for and one would be, well, think about something that maybe you see it on other people and you thought, oh, I'd like to do that, but I don't know how it would look on me, or I don't know if I could pull it off. Maybe you just go to a store and you try something on that's out of your comfort zone. Maybe you try on dresses because you don't normally wear dresses. Maybe you go try on print dresses because you don't normally wear print dresses. Maybe you go try on a hat, those cool hats you've seen in some of the pictures I posted. I love hats, the cool hats that look so funky and stylish on certain people. And you think maybe that hat wouldn't look good on me. Well, just go try some on, because the thing about hats is that there's so many different styles for so many different head shapes, and you don't know what's going to look best on you. So you do have to try them on. So, finding that comfortable shoe that isn't necessarily the fashionable shoe, but it's comfortable on you, and you wear it with something that you haven't worn it with before. And maybe it feels a little awkward, but you kind of break the mold with that. So anybody have anything that they want to put in the chat about what's 3 things that you can do, or just one thing right now that you can think of to break that mold? Now, you don't have to go buy anything, but try something on, or maybe something that's been in your closet and you haven't really worn it that much because it makes you a little uncomfortable. It's not really your style. And this is the whole process about discovering style. Style is like an evolution, especially as women. Our bodies changes, we age, we go through fluctuations in our weight. So you want to learn how to have a personal style so you can really become your own stylist. And as you go through all of these changes, you know what to do, and you know what works for you, and you have all the tools that you need in order to I got distracted by something in the chat. Let me see what it says. I love velour, but don't wear what I have. Feels too dressy for every day. Oh, that velour this time of year would be an awesome time of year to pull that out. And maybe, maybe, yeah. So, and then that's, And that could be a limiting belief that, velour is too dressy for every day. Well, who says? you know, who says? Is it that I don't want to get it, I don't want to ruin it, I don't want to stain it, I want to keep it nice? There's never any guarantee, even if you save your clothes for good clothes, that you're not going to ruin them at the good event, at the wedding, or whatever you wear it to. So yeah, velour, whatever it is, velour pants. I used to have these amazing velour pants, and I wish I would have kept them. For some reason I gave them away, but you can do velour pants or a velour jacket, just a velour top, with jeans even. So you can make velour less dressy by how you style it, by what you put it with. Thanks for sharing that. I can't see who that is because it just says Facebook user. Let's see. So any other ideas on something you're going to do to step out of that comfort zone that you're in with your style? That was another mindset that I had, a limiting belief that I had, is that I shouldn't, I never wore prints. And then last year I bought like 3 or 4 print dresses, chiffon-y print dresses that I just love. I still have a tendency to wear solids, but I love the prints as well. And I realized that I can wear prints. I look good in prints. And, and it all depends. It all depends on the size of the print and things like that. But maybe you wear a skirt with some funky boots and just see how it feels. It may not be your style, and that's okay. It's okay to experiment and play with things as you're developing your style. So that's the end of that page. And then we go to a quote, which is amazing quote by Rachel Zoe. If you don't know, she's a designer. Style is a way to say who you are without having to speak. And that's what I was saying is that as you develop your personal style, your unique style, that's just for you, it's not about fashion. It's about you knowing who you are, being really confident about who you are, and then knowing the tools of how to dress and using those tools. And even when you have tools and rules about dressing, you can always break them, because when you're confident enough, you can pull anything off. But when you go out into the world, then people are picking up this energy from you they'll know you without you even speaking. They get a vibe from you. They could probably tell you a lot about you by just seeing you. And that would be a great exercise, like meet a stranger and ask them to tell you about yourself. That would be probably, when I do my retreats, an exercise that we might do going around the room, because maybe we wouldn't all know each other that well. But style is a way to say who you are without having to speak. So it's also your self-expression, how you express yourself to the world when you go out into the world. And people aren't going to say anything. I mean, you'll get people saying, "Oh, I love your outfit." The more and more you do this, you will get more and more compliments from strangers and people saying things. But what's happening is that they're picking up your vibration. When people are around a vibration that's positive and good, they want to be more around it more. And so they want to talk to you. They want to know who you are. They want more of you. And you have the control of that. And you're probably using that control in one way or another right now anyway. So then the next page, this quote on the top of this page, I really, really love. This really opened up things for me this last year when my friend said it. And she said, clothes don't mean anything until you wear them. But this is the actual quote from Marc Jacobs, which is, clothes mean nothing until someone lives in them. But I actually like what my friend said a little better, is like, clothes don't mean anything until you wear them. If you think of your clothes, they're in a pile on the floor. They're hanging in your closet and they mean nothing. They're just fabric hanging there. And and when you put them on, and we're talking about vibration and energy a lot, but when you put that clothing on, you make a decision to put it on, it then picks up your energy. It picks up your confidence. It picks up your sadness, your anger, your depression. It picks up your vibration, that piece of clothing, and then it molds to your body. It becomes part of you. And so it means nothing without you in it. And so you can pretty push, if you have the confidence from the inside out, and if you could pretty much wear anything and make it be stylish. So confidence and style kind of go hand in hand here. You could have a style makeover and get new clothes and feel really good about yourself, and how you look, and be more confident. The problem with having a style makeover is somebody from the outside is deciding what they think you should wear based on how they see you, and it's not you. They don't know you that well, and it's not you for the inside out. So if you change your style based on what someone else thinks and they style you, you're going to have a tendency to go back to how you used to dress, because you didn't get to the root. You didn't get to the cause of how you dress the way you do anyway. They just changed the symptom basically, but they didn't get to the root cause. So that's the true in mindset too. When you change a behavior, you're always going to go back to the old behavior. So changing a behavior is only getting a temporary result. But when you change your mindset, when you change how you think about yourself, what you believe about yourself, your confidence from the inside out, then that makes a more permanent change. And the same thing is true with clothing. When you learn to style yourself, when you learn who you are, when you get really, really strong in yourself, then your style is not going to change that much, because you're in charge of it. You're in control of it. And so you can have that more permanent result when you learn to become your own stylist. So getting myself back on track here. So clothes don't mean anything until you wear them. Clothes don't mean anything until you wear them. It's so powerful, really, if you think about that. And then the last part here, it's a lot of room for this last part, because I want you to just write whatever you want in those blanks from what I talk about with these 3 things you need to have a successful, authentic style. And these are 3 things we talk about through the coaching called Style Your Life. And those 3 things, you can write them in the blanks and then I'll talk about them more, is first of all, you need a style mindset. And second, you need motivation. And third, you need the right tools. So let's talk about each of those a little bit more. So what's a style mindset? Well, let's just talk about mindset. Mindset is kind of like an overly used word right now. It's kind of like attitude, used to be used a lot. Now it's mindset everything. And people, I think, don't even know what mindset is. Well, if you break it down, I think it's the simplest way to understand it, is setting your mind. Mindset is setting your mind in a certain way to get a certain result. And so mindset is kind of like attitude. Attitude is a combination of your thoughts, your feelings, and your behavior. Their thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. And that's a whole nother topic we could talk about. But when you have an attitude, of confidence, when you have an attitude of being proud, how you walk, how you talk, how you dress, your attitude. So with style, you have a style mindset. Means that you think about style. You think about the style you want to project to the world. You think about the style of your authentic self. As I said before, style is really who you are, but it's also your creativity. You have a creative mind. Style infuses every area of your life. If you think about it, It's the glass you drink out of. It's the cup you drink out of. It's the pajamas that you wear. It's the slippers that you have. What else? It's how you have your house styled in a certain fashion. Style is, it just like comes from within you. And then it's like you adorn yourself in this certain way. So let's see what I wrote down. You have to have a desire to have your own personal style, to be a stylish woman, to have that be a part of your life. So one of the things we do in the style coaching program is we look at style icons like Marilyn Monroe or Audrey Hepburn, or a lot of these women that are known as style icons from back in the 50s, earlier than the 50s, up until now. J-Lo or Beckham, what's her first name? So we look at style icons and why are they style icons? And most of the style icons aren't actually even that pretty based on kind of our what we think of as pretty normally, that they have this more confidence in who they are, and how they decided to dress became their style, and then they became an icon for that. So learning about style icons of the past really helps you to see, where do I fit in that, and who am I like, and who would I like to emulate? Who do I already kind of emulate in the world? So so you want to be able to have the style of your future self, the goal that you're going for. Bring that into your life right now, because then the goal is going to be easier for you to attain if you start walking and talking and behaving like the woman of your goal. So think about, how does she dress? What is the goal you're going for? And how would I dress when I get to that goal? So it takes effort to discover your personal style. It doesn't just happen. You want to just gain more and more awareness of your style mindset. And this really happened for me a lot as we were studying this over the last 6 months, even more. Where I did, if you saw, I went and got pajamas, because normally I was just sleeping in, old stuff, t-shirt or nightgown or old dress that I turned into a nightgown or something like that. And I was like, just pajamas that are nice to hang out in, instead of sweatpants and a t-shirt, and see how it feels to hang out in pajamas that are nice. Maybe you won't like it. Maybe you'll go back to t-shirt and sweatpants, but it's kind of a way of loving yourself, honoring yourself. How can you bring style into, because you can be stylish at home while nobody's looking, because it's about you and you do it for you, and really all the other people that just get the benefit of it. So just think of how your style is now and how it might be different when you achieve the goal that you're going for. Victoria Beckham, that's her name. Yeah, thanks. Momentary mind slip. So motivation. Why is motivation the second one for successful, authentic style? Well, you have to want it. You have to want to be stylish. But what is your why behind wanting to be stylish? What is the desire that makes you want to be stylish no matter what? To work on yourself in this way. What is going to motivate you for that? You can put that in the chat if you have any things that motivate you to be more stylish, or you think could motivate you. One thing is that just having the realization that when you develop your personal style, it'll be easier for you to go get your goals, get to the next level that you're going for. That if you don't have a personal style, it might be more difficult, and that might be enough reason to go to do that. Maybe your motivation is for your kids, that you want to look good for your kids, to give them an example for when you're around their teachers. Maybe you want for your clients. Maybe you want to show up authentic in style for your clients, whatever kind of clients you have. You have to be able to move yourself into style even when you don't want to do it. And this is what happens even in personal growth. What's going to get you over the edge to do it? Because no one's going to do it for you. And this is kind of how in personal growth, it comes along more like when you're stuck, when you're feeling stuck, or the negative thinking comes up, or the self-criticism comes up, when you have to put your foot down and say, no, talking to yourself, stop saying that to yourself, stop thinking that way. And that's kind of the same with the style mindset. Is you have to be willing to do what you don't want to do in order to get the results that you want to have. And so having that motivation, whether it's just the motivation of you're going through a class on developing your style and you want to keep up with the class, or, whatever the motivation is, you have to have some motivation that's outside of yourself normally until you can motivate yourself. That's why I have you have a buddy with you here, because often it's you can give up on yourself easily, but if you have a buddy or a friend doing this with you, it's harder for you to give up, because you don't want to give up because of them. Even like a workout buddy, if you have a workout buddy, you do that because you want to keep your goal, and that they're going to do it, so then it keeps you both accountable to each other. So accountability is so important. So what's going to keep you accountable to yourself? Sometimes it's just being a part of a group that's doing the same thing. Sometimes it's having a coach that's keeping you accountable. Sometimes it's having a buddy. But what is the thing underneath the thing? What is the biggest desire you have you're on this call about elevating your confidence and style? Why do you want to have confidence and style? You know what the answer is. You just might not be willing to share it, but we know that it's so important to have confidence. And with that comes style, because with confidence, you have a certain style. And that's what I was saying before. That was what I lost my track, is that you can feel more confident if you look more stylish, but when you have confidence of who you are, anything can look stylish. So they go together, and you can, and having both is really usually the best. Okay. And then the third thing is tools, having the right tools, how to find, you want to know how to find your personal style, how to dress your body shape, how to combine outfits and colors and everything. We teach you all of that. And you want to be able to do that, to dress with intention for the desired result of how you want people to perceive you. The desired result of going for your goal, dressing like the woman of your goal. This is how I want people to think about me. So most people want to just dive into all the tools and change the wardrobe and change the, change the look and just get that outer result. But if you remember back to when I was talking about your image, your self-image, that is the most important thing. The most important thing is that deeper work of what are my beliefs? What are my current beliefs? What are my limiting beliefs? How do I feel about my body? What are the limiting beliefs I have about my body? All of that stuff is underneath. And you can style yourself on the outside, but if you don't change all that stuff on the inside, underneath it all, you're going to go back to all the same old ways. So we need to change how you think about yourself, how you talk to yourself. And, that requires a lot of repetition and a lot of consistency around making that change. Because if you think about it, you've probably had a lot of those thoughts and limiting beliefs for your entire life. And depending on how old you are, that's been a long time, no matter how old you are. If you've had certain beliefs about your body since childhood, it's going to take a while for you to unpack that and shift that. It doesn't have to take as long as it took for it to be embedded in you, but it does take repetition and consistency around changing that. Let's see. Oh, we have Gigi on the line. Gigi's into fashion. There's four fashion personalities. She said dramatic, classic, romantic, or natural. That's good information. So where do you see yourself in that? Where do you see yourself in that? Let us know. I would say I'm kind of classic and natural, but I could be all of those at different times. Just depends on what I'm doing. Thank you, Gigi. So let's see. So tools, you definitely have to have those. You need a style mindset, the motivation to have style, and then the tools in which how to create the style, and not just the fashion style, your personal style, your unique style. Become your own stylist so you can take control of style in your life from the inside out versus from the outside in. Is it fun to go get a style makeover and have somebody help you pick out clothes? And you can do that, but the trick is, and when we're working on this with you in coaching, is that you're going to know what you need to add to your wardrobe. So when you go to a store, you're going to get that person to help you in a different way. Whereas you're going to say, I need, a pencil skirt, or I need a plain black simple dress, or I need a trench coat, or I need a white blouse, or I need this, to fit into the wardrobe I'm building for myself because I know my style. And you want to try to not allow them to influence you too much. Although what they can help you do is help you get out of that comfort zone, help you get out of the box, maybe suggest some things that you wouldn't normally have thought of for yourself. So it can work both ways. They can be helpful, and you want to really be able to take control of styling yourself, because that's how you want to, you live with yourself. You want to be able to dress yourself every day confidently and go for it and be in control of that. So the last quote, which is also really awesome: style is something each of us already has. All we need to do is find it. So if you were one of those that felt like you don't have style, that you've never had style, you don't even know what style is, then it's something you have. You just need to uncover it within yourself. And part of that uncovering it within yourself is that going back to the original, who are you? What's your purpose? What are you here for? And get you on track in that sense. And when you're in track in that sense, and even if you're 60 years old, even if you're older than 60, even if you're 30 years old, a lot of us never really know who we are, what our purpose is, for our entire life, because it's not really part of normal life, figuring that out. So I do an exercise in my coaching where it's called Finding Your Genius. It's like the genius of who you are. And that genius was born in you. It lives in you, and it will die in you, so that's the golden thread of who you are. And so that has to be part of your style. And so when you connect that, then your style makes sense. Does that make sense? So the next page is super important. This is the action challenge for today. And so we're committing to mastering yourself, your confidence, and your style. And so on the following page, after the instructions, is this declaration that I'm going to have you sign it, date it, post a picture of it in the group. And if you feel really like you want to go out on the edge and go out of your comfort zone and read it, make a live and read it to us. So it says, I, Shelly Nash, enthusiastically declare I will master myself, my confidence, and my style. I understand that my ability to master myself controls my happiness, wealth, and freedom. It controls the amount of people I positively impact with my message. I am ready. I am willing. I will improve every day in my self-mastery. I know all my goals and dreams must move into form if I persist in mastering myself, my confidence, and my style. It is done. I love it. And then sign and date that. And then what I would do, post that in the group, then take it out of your book or make a copy of it on your printer, put it up on your mirror, and then I want you to say that affirmation out loud to yourself with feeling and emotion every single day, at least for this 5 days, and or 6 days with the bonus, and if not, for 30 days or longer. When you say this to yourself, it'll energize you in a way that you've never probably felt before. So self-mastery, do the self-mastery declaration, and that's all that says on that action challenge page. And then that will put you into the, well, today we just have the show up challenge for the everyone that shows up. I'm doing the drawing for my I Am Woman inspirational card set. But doing the action challenge every single day, that gets you in the drawing for the $50 Amazon gift card that we'll draw on Saturday at the bonus session, Sip and Style, with Juliana Huxas. So any questions? Anybody have any questions, comments? I went a little bit over today. That's because we have all of those beginning housekeeping stuff to go for. But I hope you enjoyed today. Those that are on, if you're getting on the replay, put hashtag replay, because you'll still get in the drawing if you do that today. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, where we're going to talk about stop letting fear hold you back. Fear is the number one thing I hear of from people that keeps them from doing what they want to do. And the weirdest part about that is that, everybody has fear, it's a natural part of our lives. We've just learned to allow it to take control, where you need to start to learn to take control of the fear and, move into faith and all of that. So we'll talk about that more tomorrow. I look forward to seeing you guys. It was nice to have you here, Karen, Gigi, other Facebook users. And I will see you tomorrow. Any questions that you have, send me a DM in Facebook Messenger. That's usually the best way to reach me. And thanks for being on. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.